George Santos, while I was in D.C., the story broke that Trump commuted his sentence, and I got some emails. I'm going to respond to all of you here who emailed me about this in one fell swoop. And, you know, first off, it's a commutation, not a pardon. What does that mean? Well, when you commute a sentence, you're basically not taking away the criminal conviction. The criminal conviction, the record stays. So becomes an ex-felon, ex-con, right? He still has the criminal record on his, it's there. So Santos not getting away from that. What it does is it frees you. What specifically this commutation did is freed Santos from paying fines and from serving out the remainder of his jail term. Now, I have my simple response to this is I'm pleased that Trump did this. A couple of thoughts in no particular order about why. Number one, first person that comes to mind in this is a unfortunate man by the name of Scooter Libby. Scooter Libby was chief of staff, ran Cheney's office. I think he was chief of staff at the time of the Valerie Plame scandal. Remember Valerie Plame? I think her Joe Wilson, was that Ambassador Joe Wilson? That's his name. Okay, and they were this glamorous couple, and the media ran with it, and basically, Scooter Libby got caught up in this fake scandal. It was a complete nothing burger investigation, right? But Scooter Libby lied to an FBI agent. That was the allegation. He got convicted of it. Went to jail, lost his law license. I mean, just his whole life was over. And George Bush, refused to do anything about it. Bush and Cheney had a falling out at the end of the Bush administration in 2009, because in the last weeks, days of Bush's presidency, Cheney was campaigning hard to give Scooter Libby something, to give him a pardon, and Bush played the high and mighty. We're Republicans. We don't do what Democrats do. Because that's classic Bush, just a virtue signaling dummy. Now, did it win Bush any kudos? Do people remember Bush as a great president? Everybody, Republican and Democrat, look back at Bush now as being a complete turd. So I don't think it won him anything. And in the end, it was Trump that pardoned Scooter Libby in his first term. Remember that? Now, I will never forget this because it's stuck in my mind. Cheney was campaigning for the Libby pardon, and he told Bush flat out, I have this from a number of sources close to Cheney, that Cheney said, you don't leave a man on the battlefield. To every single Republican, conservative, Trump supporter, okay, one of us, to those of you who are having unease, qualms about what happened with Santos here, we don't leave a man on the battlefield, because the battlefield is stacked against us by design. Let me give you, this is my second illustrative point. If Scooter Libby wasn't a better, a good enough example, look at, and I bring this up here. I had it in my stack of stuff. Remember a man named Kevin Kleinsmith, FBI lawyer. The CIA sends an email to the FBI that Carter Page was in an operational contract working for the CIA, telling them about Russian contacts. Literally, Carter Page working for the CIA, helping our country. And Kevin Kleinsmith, okay, who was working for the FBI, edited the email to say the exact opposite. He literally took the email, he edited it. And in the editing, Carter Page, instead of saying that he what was informing. He was not informing the FBI. He changed the language of it. And he used that counterfeit email to kick off the entire Russiagate, Spygate, FISA warrant mess that entrapped, ensnared, slowed down, obstructed Trump's first term in office. Now, what happened to Mr. Kleinsmith? He pled guilty. But a judge, and Robbie, you look up the judge and see if you're surprised by who the judge was on this. The judge didn't give him any jail time, a year of probation and 400 hours of community service. This is what happens in Washington, D.C., and I can tell you this, I know this, like I'm convinced of it, like the back of my hand. These people, this is a stacked operation against Trump and anybody in Trump's orbit. What do you think is the appropriate punishment for a guy who tried to overthrow a legitimate government of the United States, duly elected by you and I? What do you think that person, a lawyer, no less, working for the FBI, no less, what do you think they deserve in terms of punishment? No jail? Community service? The judge that gave him no jail and community service is none other than Jeb Boasberg, the obstructionist anti-Trump judge that has tried to thwart Trump at every turn, right? This is the guy that issued all the late night rulings against Trump. Now, I want to tell you one more thing. Biden or whoever else was running the show over there in the Biden administration, they gave over 90 preemptive full pardons, not commutations, to the people who engaged together with Kleinsmith and others in a vast conspiracy to overthrow and undermine the 2024 election. So we're not the same. We do not engage in subterfuge to win. They can't win on their merits, so they have to rely on all these dirty tactics. But this is treasonous conduct, okay? 400 hours and probation for treasonous conduct. So, okay, so Santos, he lied about stuff. I supported his ouster from Congress. I don't think he's a good person. My record is pretty on point here. But he did, went to jail, spent some months in jail, solitary confinement. I guarantee you it wasn't pleasant, and his criminal conviction still stands. I mean, I think when you stack it up against Kevin Kleinsmith, I think to me that Santos got one hell of a punishment.